All right. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is in your world, that's what it's going to be. All right, guys. I told you yesterday that to be prepared, be ready, get ready, because sooner or later it's going to come our way, and it is here. I was trying to wait and get a 100% confirmed from DHEC, but they don't do anything till later in the day. But we do have our first confirmed case of coronavirus in Union County. Um, they're already starting to make their rounds. The Union Police officers are already starting to go out and notify and let all the grocery stores know. That way they can be more precautious with their with who they allow in. So we do have our first coronavirus victim here in Union. I told y'all yesterday when I was doing the live, don't be surprised if it didn't come out in about a day or two. And sure enough, because it's just impossible for us not to be able to have it. Um, it is everywhere. The reason that I'm even going live to tell people is that listen, this person probably had this 10 days ago. Um, you know, again, it's nothing to get panicked over. Just be more cautious. Continue just doing what you're doing. Keep washing your hands. If you have gloves that you can wear, masks that you can wear, you need to do that. Just continue doing things, but it's nothing to panic over. Just be cautious of what you do, what you touch. Don't touch your face, buggies, gas pumps, everything like that. Make sure that you are continuing to wash your hands. So, yes, exactly, Angel. It's probably been here. And from when I talked to the lady at DHEC, she actually showed me. She couldn't confirm nor deny it right now, but she said that Union County is projected to probably have about 9 to 10 cases. Just probably within a week's time. So kind of get prepared for that. That's right, Judy. Panic's not going to solve anything. So she said be looking at between 9 to 10 cases probably by the end of the week or the weekend. And she says the reason for that is that, like I told y'all, it's just the fact that more tests are coming through, not necessarily an outbreak. She told me to let people know that that they are doing more tests, but they're only testing again only people with symptoms. And this lady who does have it, she showed symptoms, and they were able to test it apparently. But like I say, if you don't show symptoms, they're not going to they're not going to test you because tests are so limited right now. Um, Rodney, and that's very possible. That's very possible. It is. Listen, Karen. Anything's scary. Any outbreak of anything's scary. When you hear an outbreak of the flu or things like that, that's scary. This is no different. When I hear about the stomach flu, I get very nervous. I get very scared because it really pounds me. I mean, it really does. It lasts with me probably twice as long as the normal person for whatever reason. But just there's no reason to be scared. There's no reason to be panicked. The only thing you can do is just do what you're doing, and that's continue washing your hands, continue cleaning areas around you. When you, like I say, touch buggies, touch public door handles, touch gas pump handles. You've got to be able to remember not to touch your face, wash your hands, and that's all the time, not just right now. Uh, and make sure you drink plenty of juices, orange juice. Try to get away from sodas right now. Get you some more vitamin C and D in you because that's what you need. That's what helps fight this stuff off. You need your vitamins. Um, let's see. Let's see. Um, Karen, for the most part, I believe that most people are staying at home. If you look at Facebook, most people that you see talking and doing videos, they are all at home. But eventually you gotta come out to get your food. You can't you can't get food unless you go out to get it. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. Especially with people like that. If you have a compromised immune system, definitely want to try to take as much precautions as you can. I think I shared something on my Facebook page. Let me pull it up. Here are the risks. They're saying they've learned more information about this virus, but this is pretty much things that we already knew, but I'll go through it real quick. People who are 65 years or older, people who live in nursing homes, of course, people who have chronic lung disease or asthma, people who have heart disease with complications, people who are immune compromised, including cancer treatments, people of any age with severe obesity. It says greater than BMI of 40 or certain, underlying medical conditions such as diabetes, renal failure, or liver disease. So these things will put you at a higher risk. Now, again, these risks are still minimal. Guys, listen to me. Even if you were to catch the coronavirus, you have less than a 5% chance of needing a ventilator. And then beyond that, you have less than a 1 to 3% chance, depending on if you have a compromised immune system or if you have any of those things I just said. You have only then a 1 to 3% chance of it actually being fatal. So if you know somebody around, if you can, don't panic. Panic's never going to make it better. Just continue doing what you're doing. Wash your hands, all the things that I just said. Unfortunately, Erica, that is very true. The 18 plus are not at home, and those are the ones that probably should be because they're very restless, and you can already start to see vandalism happening, stuff like that, because they are in fact restless. So hopefully we can get through this as fast as possible. And that's true too, Eddie. A doctor has already come out. Most doctors that I've had a chance, or nurses or anything like that, I've had a chance to either hear or possibly speak to, they have already said that probably most of us have already come in contact with this virus and possibly even had it in our system. He said, listen, not everybody is going to, they activate. I'm going to use the word, that not everybody's going to activate this disease. It's going to lie dormant within your system for 14 days. And after 14 days, you're either going to start showing the symptoms of it or it dies. So it's like I say, it's just because you may have it, don't even mean you're going to show effects. And if you do catch the coronavirus and it does activate within your system, doesn't mean that you're going to have the severe like you're seeing some people have. There's some people who come out across yahoo.com who said I've had colds that was worse than this. So it could be very mild. It could be very severe. It just depends on your system. Like I say, guys, there are people who die from taking an aspirin. Look at Bruce Lee. He supposedly died from taking an aspirin. I mean, it's just all about everybody's body's different. So just do the common sense thing. Wash your hands. Don't try to shake as less hands as possible. Do the elbow bump, whatever. Just do your common sense things, your flu light treatments. Do that. Wash your hands, all that good stuff. Cindy, I do believe that it's going to be over sooner than later because you got to understand, ground zero is where it happened, and that was in China. In China, the reason they were hit so hard was the simple fact that it was ground zero. They didn't do any kind of serious quarantines. And the reason they had to go on that 2-month lockdown is that if they didn't, because it was in fact ground zero, it was going to get out of control. Do I believe that something's going to happen here to the point of that? I don't see it. I don't see it because we've already got people who are doing the right thing on their own. They're quarantining themselves. They're washing their hands. We really were ahead of the curve on this one. So the curve has already been slightly flattened. That's something that you're also not hearing from. There's no possible way if one person quarantined themselves, went home, stayed home, or worked home, went to work like I do. I go to work, go straight home. I don't go anywhere else really. That's also helping the solution. That is already trimming the curve. So no matter what, the curve is already being slightly flattened. A lot of people were asking me about the stimulus. They're still talking about it. I know I see a lot of people, wanting to be politically arguing about this. At this point, politics shouldn't play in anything with this because this is serious. People need funds to continue moving on. Yes, the Democrats, all 60 Democrats did vote it down. They didn't like the end that they were supposed to be getting, as far as what they were supposed to get approved for. I know Parent Planhood was one of them. And then I seen somebody who was posting, Trump's bailing out the people, Obama bailed out the banks. Listen, this will be probably one of the very few times that you'll hear me come to the defense of Obama. He had to bail out the banks. Without the banks, we just about have no economy, unfortunately. That's the way our economy is built, and he had to do that. It's just unfortunate. It's just the way it is. Just like Trump, he's going to have to bail out the airlines. He's going to have to bail out some companies when all this is over with. It's just the way of life, unfortunately. And unfortunately, the people has to pay for it. And until a better system's ever invented, which probably never happened, that's the way it is. So getting in political arguments right now is doing absolutely no good. There's nobody to blame. Trump isn't to blame. The Democrats and the Republicans, they can share the blame of not coming to the table and getting this done for the American people. You've got to get it done for the American people. Just like, if we're really going to blame anybody, we need to find the people who made this virus because it is man-made. It has been proven, shown that it is in fact man-made. That is who we need to find. That's who we need to blame. And unfortunately, where it came from is China. So until then, China has to be the one to blame, not for the virus being created, because we don't know if they did it, government-wise, but they did not contain it, nor did they tell the truth. So they got to be held liable for what they've done. This is biological warfare. There's nothing new to this. Been happening since the beginning of the time that this world was discovered in America. Smallpox was given to the Indians through blankets. It's biological warfare. It's been happening, guys. So don't argue amongst yourselves. One other thing that somebody wanted me to bring up that we're going to try to talk about later on is requesting our local government, which is Franklin County, city. They need to come together to figure out a way to help small businesses. And the way I believe that they can do that is to waive the upcoming tax that is in June or July. That's about the most legal way, is to waive that tax. You know how they tax us for the income to help us out. I believe that they can legally do that. They do it for big companies when they're trying to get contract deals in. It's something that they need to get to work on. Figure out a way. Your small businesses is probably about 70% of your businesses in this town. You've got to help relieve their pain. I've talked to a couple of business owners today, and they're, we've already got 2 that shut down right now during this. Whether that's permanent, we'll see. The chances get higher every day. So we have got to now turn to our leaders, Frank Hart and the county council and the city council and the mayor. Y'all have got to figure out a way to help stimulate and help this burden with small business owners. So y'all definitely need to get to work on that. You should have been doing that. It should never have to come from anybody else but yourselves. That should be your first priority. Trying to figure out how to save small business owners because they are at the highest of risk, not people who have jobs because they're going to get paid. People, if we shut down a small business, if I shut down my business, my money stops immediately. I get nothing. So they need to get to work on that and figure out what they can do to help small business. Hopefully we'll have some answers with that. Angela, the U.S. owns the patent to the virus. I honestly don't think it was an accident come from eating a raw. No. Let me explain this to y'all, guys. China has not changed their eating habits. They have been eating that way for generations, for centuries. So it's nothing new that they have done. That's not possible. Their eating habits have been the same. It's nothing changed. So I know a lot of people are like talking about what they eat over there. Yes, it is disgusting by America's standards, but it's nothing changed in their world. They are still still doing the same things they have always been. Let's see what else here. What happened to the possible cure that was mentioned a couple of weeks ago? Actually, that was last week. The cure is still going under testing with the FDA. It has been shown that with a combination of other drugs, I can't, it's like chloroquine. I can't say it. It was a doctor out of France who discovered it. He was using it in a combination of other drugs that was in fact curing his patients. I believe it was either 36 or 37 out of 40 people that he administered this cure to. They were cured within 6 days, clinically cured. So I believe that Trump definitely needs to start pushing that through. He needs to put that under the right to try. Cancer patients and people with HIV, AIDS, stuff like that, they have the right to try to beat this disease. This should be no different. If people want to try it, they should be allowed to, and I believe he will. Very true, Angela. They eat some rough stuff. Pat says, are people on Social Security going to get a part of the package? We barely make it now. There was something that was posted that people on Social Security, or I believe it was, that they're going to possibly get like an extra $200 during this crisis. Now, that was in the stimulus, but don't forget that got rejected, so things could change. So that's what it was going to be. Yes, several drugs are showing promise. A lot of drugs are showing promise. They just got to make sure, like Trump said, we got to make sure that the cure is not going to do more damage than the virus itself. Sometimes you could take something that it cured this, but now it created this, and this here was a whole lot worse than the coronavirus. So we just got to make sure everybody's safe. Brandy says, my parents are still there in Buffalo while I live in Tennessee. My stepdad has terminal cancer. The doctors quarantined him. If anyone that knows me is willing to do a grocery run for them in the next few days or weeks, so please let me know. I will gladly pay to do it. So if anybody can definitely help out Brandy, that would be a great thing. I'm sure I know somebody to get you in touch with, Brandy. I'll probably send you a message shortly. Brittany, more than likely, I seen where he's going to have a conference today. His conferences are so everywhere. Like he'll have one at 10 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 8 o'clock at night. He's just all over the place. I'm thinking that as soon as he gets some factual information, he's ready to go with it. And I love that. He's ready to get it out there to the people. So I'm pretty sure why wouldn't Trump want this over? Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you, again, I'm going to go political here. Trump is winning. Before this happened, Trump was crushing all polls for election. Democrats were losing. Democrats knew that, okay, if something like this is to happen, and guys, let me also mention, you can simply go back and look. A lot of Democrats were hoping for an epidemic of something to crash the economy because the economy was boosting Trump's numbers. So in the end, right now, Trump is wanting this over as soon as possible because he knows that this is hurting him every day. Now, the people that believe is helping them is Democrats because they were already at the bottom. They've got nowhere to go but up. So, like I say, I'm not trying to get political with this, but, Democrats, and that's in all polls. You can go look. Democrats were struggling. Could they use this to the advantage to try to boost up their numbers? Absolutely. Could the Republicans do this to try to boost their numbers? Absolutely. If Trump was to come out and cure this thing and says, we have a cure, his numbers are going to skyrocket. If he sends out this stimulus, can you stop, please? If, take her in there. If the stimulus is approved, that's going to boost Trump's numbers, through the roof. Simple fact that he's just giving money to people. And that's always very popular. In the end, we still got to pay for it, guys. We still got to pay for it. So stimulus or no, it doesn't matter. We're going to have to pay for it out of the way. Brett, real quick to recap before I hop off of here is that we do have our first confirmed case of coronavirus. I mentioned it yesterday on the show that it was probably going to happen within a day or two, and sure enough, it did happen first thing this morning. I was going to go live first thing this morning, but I wanted to keep calling and make sure I got it 100% confirmed from a couple of different sources. Don't want to put something like that out there if it's not true or not confirmed, or, you got to be careful with that. But it is confirmed. Your local police is now going out and contacting grocery stores, gas stations to let them know that, hey, there is, one person who has it. They have to let grocery stores know. That way they can do, if they haven't, sterilized, they're going to have to go through and sterilize. Like I say, one more time, make sure you don't touch your face. If you grab a buggy, if you got gloves, that'd be great. Make sure you don't, when you get done with, using the buggy, pumping your gas, grabbing a door handle that's in the public, you got to figure out a way to get your hands washed, sanitized. You got to do that before you touch your face. Okay. But wearing gloves helps, but you can still touch your face with gloves. So, rumors of where the person works or lives. No. If I had that, and I don't, if I had, I would never. Absolutely not. And if anybody knows the person that has it, you should not release that. Simple fact of honoring their privacy. This is, it's a cold, it's something, it's contagious. It can be on paper, cardboard, stuff like that. It isn't like they were going around kissing people. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot out somebody like this and their life get harder. Right now, they need to concentrate on getting better. Not worried about what people are talking about them on Facebook. They need their help. They're going to get through it. And hopefully they'll get better real soon. So whoever it is, I don't care who you are. Hope you get better. Hopefully, and if there's anything you need from us, your information stays anonymous. If you need anything from the KC show, you let us know. We'll help you. But anybody who knows that person is, please keep their privacy private. I mean, come on, don't do that. That's a very silly thing to do with anything. But guys, I just wanted to give that report real quick. Continue living your life. Like I say, this virus is here, guys. There was no way it wasn't. If you look at a map, Spartanburg, all the Newberry, all the towns around us, I believe even Chester, had one, York, I know everybody, but I think it was Lawrence maybe, and Chesney. I believe those two towns were the two towns that didn't have it along with us. They have it too. Guys, there's just no way that we can't. It's just not possible, okay? So there's no need to panic. Continue washing your hands. Continue living your life. Just be more cautious. If you don't have to go out right now, don't. Especially if you have any of those symptoms that I read a minute ago. And I'll read them one more time, and then we'll pop off for today. And I'll be back tonight at 7. People who are 65 years of older, who live in a nursing home, chronic lung disease or asthma, people who have heart disease with complications, people who are immune compromised, including cancer patients or going cancer treatments, people of any age with severe obesity, body mass index of 40 or more or certain, underlying medical conditions such as diabetes, renal failure, or liver disease. Man, I can't read today. But these are the people who need to be more cautious than typical people with a good health. You're people like that right there. If you took out heart disease, it would probably be like 2%, 2 to 3% of the population. And if you took out diabetes and heart disease, you'd be talking about less than 1%. But when you add heart disease and diabetes, you're probably talking about 10%, maybe a little higher the population. So be very, very cautious. Wash your hands. Stay inside. If you need somebody to get you something, call your daughter, son, if you can. Just stay inside for your own protection, okay? So everybody, don't worry about it. It was bound to happen. Don't go hoarding. It's not going to help anything. Not allow. Just think about it this way. Maybe if that lady, maybe she possibly didn't have any hand sanitizer. Think about it like that. You know what I'm saying? Think about it like that. She might have had plenty, but she might not have had any. And maybe if she would have had some, she might not have got it. So don't hoard. Don't do that. Get enough for yourself, for your family. We can only live this one day at a time. Shopping for 7,000 bottles of hand sanitizer and 22,000 rolls of toilet paper and 700 pounds of hamburger meat is not helping anybody's situation. It's not helping yours because you can't use all that right now. Help your fellow neighbor. Just live normal, shop normal, and just pray and help anybody you can. And if anybody needs our help, if the lady just so happens to be watching this show right now, who is confirmed with that, if you need us, we'll be happy to help you with anything that you may need. Your information will stay 1,000% private. Do not worry about that. But good luck to you. Hopefully everything will go good, and we'll all get out of this sooner or later. It's going to have to end sooner or later, guys. So y'all take care. Let me make sure there's nobody. What? It is a lady. Yeah, it's an older lady. But like I say, guys, get you some juice, apple juice, orange juice, any good fruit juice, stuff like that. It has your vitamins. That's what builds your immune system. Everybody should always have some of that. Don't hoard it. For the love of God, don't hoard it. Just get enough to drink some where you can get a little bit of vitamins in you every day. And there's possible talks of that this virus too cannot withstand certain elements of heat. Somebody said that it was debunked, but we don't know that. It's still cold. We have no idea. It's got to be hot for a consistent amount of time. That's what kills the flu. You ever notice during the flu season, sometimes during December, January, we have a really hot day, but the flu's still there because it's got to stay consistently hot to be able to kill that germ. So we have no idea. But I think Trump has already kind of made that clear that by July to August, when it is really hot, that he pretty much sees this coming to an end anyways. So that to me is confirming the fact that it is bound by the same credentials of a flu or a cold, that it does, die under heat like that. Hopefully that's true, because it has no chance in South Carolina. In about 2 months, that virus is going to get its butt kicked. It's so hot and humid here. There's no way for it to survive. So, just like I say, continue doing what you're doing. Everything's fine. It had to happen, guys. It had to. There was just no way it couldn't have. Don't panic. And if you need anything, please let us know. Just make sure you're helping people, help each other. And that help will come full circle. Somebody may help you with something that you don't have. So make sure we're all looking out for each other. Don't worry about it. Continue living your lives. Be calm, be normal, and pray for the lady who has this. Hopefully she gets better real quick, real soon, and hopefully this stays at a minimum pace. But like I said, the person at DHEC said on a guess that they're doing, that they believe that Union County will eventually have about 9 to 10 cases, possibly by the end of this week or weekend. Now it's not confirmed. It's just an estimate based on the amount of people. And now with a confirmed case, that's just what they believe. They have an estimate for all towns. They think Greenville will be the one with the most, which is unbelievable. I really thought Columbia would be, but I guess Columbia is a little bit more spread out. Greenville is very crushed in. Have you ever been downtown Greenville? It's like their streets are that big. So everybody's kind of in a crushed, contained, way in places like Greenville. So it kind of makes sense. But guys, that's enough. We'll be back tonight at 7:00, hopefully to give you a more update on this, but no need to panic. It was bound to happen. So guys, y'all take care. We'll see y'all again later on tonight. Everybody have a good afternoon.